So anyways, I picked the truck up for $800, 2007 Chevy Avalanche. You know what I'm saying, 2007 Chevy Avalanche, right? Lifters were going out. Really, okay, so either way, it needed a DOD delete, right? And so, to me, it sounded like the lifters, it sounded like the top end, you know, or something in the valve train, maybe a collapse lifter from the DOD system, but it wasn't. Basically, so I ordered a AMS racing kit, DOD Delete kit, and we had a couple obstacles, right, to overcome. So one thing is, one thing that we had to overcome was after we got the kit, I ended up looking at the cylinder heads. The top of my valves were actually smashed up. So at one point they replaced the lifters because all the AFM lifters were actually just fine. So let me go ahead and flip the camera around so I can show you. Still a mess. Anyways, so this is the $800 truck. I went ahead and put some wheels and tires on it. So it's got 22s with some good, got some good tread on there. So I'm actually gonna drive it across. I'm on vacation for the next 3 weeks. So rusty Midwest truck, but yeah, so it was ticking and clicking, right? And it sounded like both sides, I couldn't tell. But either way, what I ended up having to do was go ahead and get another set of cylinder heads, because basically to order the whole valve train kit's like $700-800, plus you're gonna have to wait. And I just wanted to get this done and over with, wanted to get the truck running. So what I did was I found a used set of 243 heads. So I took this whole thing apart. I'm gonna get an air filter for it. Painted the valve covers GM Performance orange red is the GM code, but got it all back together. Valve covers looking good. Anyways, so the kit comes with LS7 lifters, which I got. Comes with the lifter, or the new lifter trays, DOD valve valley cover, right? I went ahead and put in new plugs and wires on it. And I tried to find an intake. I wanted to put an LS1 intake, or one of the big billet intakes, but I couldn't find nothing in town. So I'm like, well, we can hold up on that. So anyways, and then I ended up picking up a used set of 243 heads, completely stock. They came off an LS1 car, so same cylinder head, but these are stamped A in 17. So I don't know if that makes a difference or not. So anyways, what I had to do, the reason why I had to replace my cylinder heads is because I was going to have to go ahead and go out and buy a whole valve train kit. If you look, my rockers, or the top of the valves, you see that? Not all of them, but the ones where the AFM was, see, these ones are fine, right? This is fine. But you look at this one, smashed up. So I can tell it's already been torn apart before. Somebody already had torn it apart. It was the old cam lifters. The lifters, the AFM lifters are good. They weren't collapsed, nothing. So I figured, you know what? A guy came up from Iowa. He was about 80 miles away. He was coming up to out here. And I said, well, shit, you bring them, you can bring them with you, and they look good, I'll buy them. Shit, so $300. I got another set of 243s, so I'm gonna save those, have them ported and all that shit, probably, maybe once I get a hot rod car or something like that. So I'll put together another motor, and that'll be a fully built engine. Anyways, but I just wanted to get this truck running. That way I can go ahead and retire my old Ford trucks, right? This got a lot more power, newer. Good deal. '07 Avalanche. So anyway, that's it. Only other thing I did was go ahead and put some fender flares. This is from my 2010 Silverado that I never put on. So I still had those, and I'm glad I did, because I bought these last year for I think it's like 117 bucks off Amazon. Now you can't even find them for under 300. So I'm glad I still got them. That covers up a lot of rust. So basically this whole section here, it's got surface rust all the way around the wheel well and then back here. So it is what it is. It looks a lot better because there's not as much rust to be seen. Anyways, we'll go ahead and start it up and let you take a listen. So, and I'm gonna put my exhaust back on. Actually, it's a little too loud and I don't want to pay for exhaust. I'm fine with the stock. I'm gonna take it out of town. So all I did was just go ahead and I wanted to see what it sounded like without the muffler on there. And so what I did was I just unbolted it, and I got lucky that the thing actually unbolted. So I'm really lucky in that aspect there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and bolt my exhaust back up. I like the stock real quiet anyway. So other than that, that's about it. We'll start it up. Still got a little bit of tuning to do. All I did was go ahead and adjust the idle. So I raised my idle up. Engine idle in park or in neutral is 750, and while it's in gear it's at 775. I put it at 800. It's got more pickup off the bottom end, and it seems to idle better, but it's really loud. So I may raise it back up once I put the exhaust on. We'll see how it anything lower than 750 in idle, it basically it doesn't stall out, but it bogs down so low that it's not right. But if it's at 800 all the way through, it's almost a little too much, but the truck runs good right off the bottom. It picks up really quick, stop and go traffic and stuff like that. And when you let off the gas, when you're rolling, it doesn't jump down and then come back up on you. It's really smooth at 800. So it just idles really loudly with no mufflers. So I think I found my sweet spot where it's at right now, which is 750 on the and the reason why I kicked the idle and neutral and park down to 750, because anything more than 750, when you go to put it in gear, it'll actually it'll do that sometimes. Not every time, but sometimes. And then I raised the idle while in gear. So now it doesn't want to stall out when you give it gas or let off in deceleration. Anything less than, you can get away with maybe 700 on idle and park, but I don't know. So we'll start it up. I got to adjust the throttle position. That's the only other thing I need to do, and maybe have some ignition timing mods done. Yeah, so typically it doesn't start without you giving it a little bit of gas. Here we go. and bolt the exhaust back up. So now it's stock exhaust, stock huge muffler. The only difference is I cut the tailpipe off. So we'll see if it's, so it dumps right over the back side of the axle. So we'll see if the tailpipe makes any difference. Want to quiet it down a little bit. I don't want it to be really loud. It's just too loud like that. Go back to stock. It basically sounds stock, but the good news is now I can drive at night and don't have to wake up the neighbors.